know how expensive it is to keep up with content creation? You can get a 10K check from Twitch. What the is a 10K check when you
Okay,
got...
I saw this and I'm just gonna absolutely have to break this down piece by piece. So I'm pretty sure that everybody has seen that video of the streamer that went viral talking about how 10K is not enough for a monthly payout on Twitch. And I just want to put in my 2 cents on why I think this is an absolute garbage opinion. Okay, so looking at the average price of a plane ticket, you know, $200, $300 plus maybe if you spend the night at like a pretty expensive hotel, you're looking at upwards of like 500 maybe. How many nights you stay? Most conventions are like 3 or so days long. So you're looking at upwards of like, let's just say 2K for 3 days for a convention, right? And then the plane ticket itself, you're going to spend, let's just round out here about 5. So you're looking at 2,500 to about 3, maybe. That's if you go with the most expensive hotel you can find. If you're spending money on a first class ticket, I can understand where you're spending upwards of like 5K on a trip. If you're staying at the most expensive hotel you can find, you're spending 5K on a trip, and you're constantly spending this much money on a trip. If you lead a luxury lifestyle and you live it, then if 10K a month on Twitch payouts is not enough, choose a different profession. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk about, so 500 on a setup. They didn't really specify whether that's their entire PC setup, their extra equipment like your peripherals, i.e. your Stream Deck, your camera, all the other, your mic. You're not spending that monthly. Unless you're just absolutely trashing your equipment every single stream because you're not taking care of it. For instance, like the YouTubers that make content based off destroying stuff. Like if you do that, I can understand you spending that much to replace your equipment every single time, like monthly. I get that. But why are you spending $500 otherwise monthly on equipment for your stream? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Going to the $2,000 on rent, that's valid, okay? I see, it ranges depending on the state you live in and all that. If you're spending between, I think the lowest rent around the Midwest is probably going to be in your like 5 to 600 range. Average is about 800 to 900, just depending on the size of the place and how nice it is. There are a few places around here that get up to 2K, but those are luxury apartments. I want to put an emphasis on that. It is a luxury apartment. You're paying for all the bells and the whistles and the name. You're mainly paying for the name. So if you're going to complain about that, then if it's too expensive for your living situation, maybe not go for the luxury apartment. Now I want to talk about the 200 on Wi-Fi. That's reasonably close. I know in my area alone, it does not exceed that, and I've got the highest Wi-Fi that my area offers. Now that may depend on state and company. I don't know what company this streamer uses, but 200 seems a bit of a stretch unless you have like over 2 gigs of Wi-Fi offered, and I don't know a single company that offers over 2 gigs of Wi-Fi. Now, talking about a $200 IRL toolkit. What are you talking about an IRL toolkit? Are you talking about your streaming while travel kit, your selfie stick, and your laptop on the go? Why are you spending $200 on this monthly? Honestly, I want to know, what are you doing to your equipment that you're having to spend this amount on replacements monthly? And paying clippers. That part really didn't make sense to me at all, considering that clipping, especially on systems like Twitch or sites like Twitch, if you will, streaming platforms, services, tomato, clipping is free. And clipping is something that you can often do yourself. If you have it rigged to your Stream Deck or any other equipment that you use for switching scenes, clipping, shouting out, etc., you can clip stuff yourself. Or if you even have a team, if you have an entire VOD that you have to edit or pay somebody to edit down, it's not that expensive depending on who you use. And if you're using somebody who's charging you a butt ton of money, then you're getting scammed. Because it's easy. All you have to do is go into systems like Clipchamp, for instance. You can edit your videos down. So making the excuse of, I have to pay so much money to pay clippers to clip things for my YouTube, and I have to pay a YouTube editor. I can understand, you know, if you're a larger streamer and you don't really have the ability to do all of those things, or you're booked, scheduled, you know, back to back to back to back. But I want to know, like, what do you do, you know, in your free time? All these expensive travels. I'm just wondering, how do you not figure that 10K is enough? Because I know several streamers, as well as myself, that could survive comfortably on 10K monthly. That is, for most people, that would be a car payment or a house payment, tons of groceries. That would be covering your health insurance monthly for an entire household. That would be savings. That would be college savings for some, or for their family members. That would be, let's see, just off the top of my head, that could add up to so much. Like one single solitary person, you're telling me that 10K monthly is not enough to live on? Girly Pop, have you lost your marbles? I just want to know where exactly your spending habits, just, you know, because it can't all be on streaming. So if you're going to make the excuse that Twitch does not pay you enough, then you're in the wrong industry.